So I'm going to pick the way I have it typed in. So we've got this one is our list 1. This is our list 2. So instead of, now would it be hard to do that math by hand? No, people are always tempted to just go ahead and start doing it, but you're going to have to end up doing a lot of things after that you would then have to go in and do, just let your calculator do everything all at once. So I've got caffeine is list 1, placebo is list 2. How do I get differences in my list 3? List 1 minus list 2. So remember, you have to come up here and highlight where it says list 3. Type in list 1 minus list 2 while it's highlighted up there. And then when you hit enter, it should fill everything in for you. Now, most of these end up being negative, which means what? The way we have it written. So caffeine minus placebo gives us negative number, which means what? Not necessarily. You could use either one. But if in context wise, what does that mean? If caffeine minus placebo gives us negative number, that means which one's higher? The placebo depressions are higher. So we've got them on list 3. What do I want to do with list 3 now? If I didn't tell you, what would you do? What's your first reaction of what to do with list 3? Find the mean and standard deviation, but there's no reason to do that because our calculator is going to do it for us. So that's where you would choose to go until I tell you this part. So go to, we're going to want to run a what on it? What have we done all this chapter? Test. I go to stat tests. So now that I have all my options for stat tests, are we dealing with 1 or 2 sample? 1 now, because it's combined down to 1. Are we dealing with proportions or means? Means. Are we doing an interval or a test? Interval, so which one is it? Should be 8. It is a T interval. Now, do I want to do data or do I want to do stats? Data, because we already got it in the list. So we make our list be list 3. Our confidence level is 90%. Is that right? So we leave that or change that if we need to. Frequency, yes. Frequency also is the same. I don't ever change that. And then, so this now gives me my X bar D, my SD, my ND, and my upper and lower bound. So otherwise, I would have just done an extra step that I didn't need to do. So let's start it due for today. What? No, if you did it the other way first, then that's fine. So starting at due, and this is like your example for kind of your homework. My X bar D was what? Negative 7.36. So negative 7.3636. My SD is 6.9177. My ND was 11. We're doing an interval here. So my confidence level was what? What else do I need to get the T? Which is what? So to get T, you look it up on your chart. with 90% degrees of freedom of 10, you get 1.812. So now we're going to write our generic equation, which starts with what? Then what? And then so just like once I've let you use the fact that all of these are clearly defined, we've written the equation out. Someone who has no clue about our class can go plug those numbers in. And then so I'm writing what in the middle? What's our lower bound? Negative 11.14, and it didn't give us any more than that, which means it probably just did round. And so should these problems be very hard? No, like literally the only thing that's the decision maker is I recognize if it's a 1 sample or 2 sample. Other than that, I should know how to do it. And that's why I'm combining it all into one.
It'll tell us if it wants us to do a test or interval.
Yes, and it'll tell you if it wants to do a test or interval. So like today, both of the questions are just interval. Tomorrow they'll both be tests. Now, I made the problem number 1 a little bit more vague. So like a lot of the times, if they're being obvious about it, it'll be like the homework problem, where up top it'll say something like pair number. And if it says something like pair number, where like those two are supposed to be together, then you know that it's a paired test. Just finishing talking through. So let's talk through our conditions, but without actually doing them. Here we would say random assignment of the order of what? Or I'd probably say random assignment of the order in which they received what or what? Placebo or caffeine. What about normal here? We have to do a histogram, so without drawing it, let's do it. So let's let our calculator do it for us. So how do we get to this in the calculator? Second stat plot, which pulls us up to this screen. We want to make a histogram, so turn the plot 1 on. Want to make the histogram, which is that third one. We want which list? List 3. And then we graph it. What happens if it shows up something weird or it's not there? Zoom 9. Are we looking for perfect? We're looking for terrible, not terrible. So we would draw this one, say this is the histogram of differences, and then say we check to make sure there was no strong skew and no extreme outliers, so we can use normal approximation. And independent, we already talked about this a little bit. 11 times 10 is 110, so they're at least 110. Caffeine dependent people who could have been used, I guess. And that should get us through pretty much the whole 4-step without issues. Questions?